Okay, here's the tripod. I mean, do you want it in the tripod or do you want it?
I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll just.
Okay, so we'd like to welcome you to an impromptu Facebook Live here at Fabric Chicks. We're in Gardnerville, Nevada. Here, I'm going to scroll. Hang on a second. I did not scroll. If you have any questions, you can always ask us. Oops, wait, hang on a second. You can always call us, okay? Sorry, I just ran downstairs, so I'm totally out of breath. Today is the 19th. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what day it is today. Okay, so I'm getting this ready so that you, Mary Beatty, will know what day today is. Save and scroll. Okay, so if you ever have any questions, you can always ask us, call us, whatnot. We do live sales on Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We also do demos on Monday if somebody shows up to video. I have not mastered videoing myself. I know a lot of people have, but it takes two at least to do anything around here. So we'd like to welcome you. We're just doing kind of an impromptu because I wanted to get this quilt quilted. So we're using one of Stephanie Brandenburg's amazing large panels. Stephanie Brandenburg is from Fawn Designs. She designs now for Northcott Fabrics. If you haven't followed her yet and you like to do artsy stuff, I would suggest you just Google or search in Facebook for Stephanie Brandenburg. She will totally inspire you. One of my favorite people, super sweet, super amazing. So I've got her sunflower panel here. What she did here is she printed half of it. Half of it is one panel and half of it is another panel. You can see the seam right here. The reason that you have this is because the normal printing machines that fabric is done on is typically for like a 23-inch panel. So this is two 23-inch panels, a right side and a left side. And I've seamed it down the center. I've just sewn a 1/4-inch seam like we always do. Pressed it open. And then I bedazzled it. So this is what it is right here. It is all kinds of like tools and trims. And I love to use silk ribbons. I did design this over on my cutting table and then moved it over here. I have used right here. This is the bags that's on your avocados. The avocados come in these bags. You're going to want to save those. This right here is what Anna buys her apples in. So everybody I know saves me all their stuff. So I've just cut up some trims. This is the loose threads that comes on your silks. So here's a good example of it. I just pull it off as I'm using it. I pull it off and I save it because I like to use them in the center of flowers. So I just want to show you real quick how bedazzling and adding dimension, people always see these pieces that are bedazzled and they think that it like takes an artist or it's amazing artwork or it's something that's too hard for them to do. So I just want to show you that you really, if you look at this closely, it is really don't overthink it. Just put stuff on there. I always keep some stuff off to the side as I quilt it. I quilt on a long arm because that's what I do all day, every day. But for you at home that have domestic machines only, you can totally do this on your domestic machine. You're just going to need to pin it a little bit more. I use pins with big heads so that I can see it and hopefully not ruin my machine by driving over it. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to try to read your comments real quick. Let's see. Hi, Joyce and Sue. You will definitely learn something, Sue. Hi, Anita and Janet and Barb and Beverly and Jane and Jody and Sandy and Stephanie and Rhonda. Welcome, everybody. So this is basically, I'm just doing a quick demo today because I usually just do this, when nobody's watching. If by chance you catch your threads, and this is even on your domestic machine, if you catch your threads, which your foot will, because I use the free motion foot, you have to do this in free motion. I do not drop my feed dogs because I like to have a little bit more control. But most people that do free motion do like to drop their feed dogs. And if you have a newer, expensive machine, it requires you to drop your feed dogs if you have the free motion foot on. So the free motion foot is just this circle foot here. It will get caught even on your domestic machine. It's going to get caught in the threads. I don't really care. I'm going to stitch it and then keep going. And I'm just going to go with the way the petals are. And don't overthink it. Sometimes in a class, people just think, oh my God, it's not where I pinned it. You do not care. You're just, when you're thread painting, so somebody asked what thread painting is, and on Monday, at 4 o'clock, I will demo it on a domestic machine, but I'm not going to stitch all of this down. But I do like to come back to the center. I like to come back to the center because that's where in nature the flowers start. You know, their growth starts in the center and works its way out. And then out here I've got one. I'm just going to pull this like this and just to get some texture into that petal. Don't overthink it. It's not going to change your life if you go one way or the other, okay? And say that this is too much of the same thread. I might come in here with a pin and just kind of hit it so you don't just see a sharp line. And I'll show you on Monday the results of this. So it really is very simple. I'm going to take my pin out as I go, and you can see I've gotten caught on the apple, the core of the apple here, that bag. I'm just going to trim it, and I don't care if it's dimensional. I'm going to just help that under there. So on Monday, during Monday's live, after I get this quilted, this is my job this weekend. Along with I have 3 other quilts I have to get custom quilted today, this weekend. But I'm gonna totally leave this one just hanging. I don't want it to be. I want it to have dimension. And if it folds over on itself, I don't really care. And then I'm going to show you real quick here in the, and sometimes I'll do the thread painting all the way up. Sometimes I won't. Ooh, look at that. Good thing I missed that head right there. Okay, hang on a second. So right here, I've got a big pile of the silky threads. I'm just going to put it right there and stitch this down. Be super careful not to stitch over your finger. I have done that before and it does not feel good. It does not want to go under there. Okay. You could use a stiletto, but I'm afraid to break my machine with a stiletto. I'd rather sew over my finger than break my machine. Which I know kind of sounds crazy, but if you know anything about long arms, if you get it out of timing, it is a nightmare and it will take forever. Okay, so then right in here, you're not really going to see the stitching. So I'm going to go just kind of random. And I can always come back and do more definition later if I want to. Here, I got another one clipped. So keep your scissors close in case you have to snip your threads. I'm cutting that burlap, but it doesn't matter because I don't care. And it does happen quite a bit. So the way you could avoid this is if you put a wash away stabilizer on the top, which I have done many times. I just don't like to have to wash it away, so I rather just fight with it right now. It really doesn't take that much time. And then this one's kind of gotten over here to the side a little bit, but I don't really like that anymore. So I'm going to move it down here so it looks like it's coming out of the center. And then here you can see I've got some great big fuzzy things right here and right here. And those are basically the centers of the sunflowers. And I'm going to just do little circles. But so what I did with this to get these big yarny masses is I took threads and I just puddled them onto a piece of wash away. And so just a variety of threads, puddled them onto some wash away, stitched all around it. You can see I stitched it with a black and gold and the multicolored glamour. So that's a 12 weight thread there. That's the heaviest weight you can run through your domestic machine. So I did that on the domestic machine with wash away and just a random variety of yarns and fibers. And then that's what's going to create the dimension here in the center. And then here in this, I'm going to do little, and I might change my thread for this, but in the center of a sunflower, I always just do circles so it kind of looks a little bit realistic. And then come up here and stitch that center down. You always want to, see, look at right there. I went through it. I hit a pin. It's not so happy. So if you, and I broke the needle. So that is the thread painting portion of this because I got to find a screwdriver so I can change my needle. So you really want to be careful to not hit your pins. I don't really see how you could glue it because I would love to be able to glue it, but I don't see how you could because you have so much going on here. But if you guys have a different idea of how you could, totally post that in the comments because we always learn from each other. I would have quilted the background first, but I had after I posted that we were going to go live at 2:30, we've had a shop full of people, even though we're closed. So, so this got kind of put to the last minute. So that is here. I'm going to read the comments real quick. That is how you thread paint. That is exactly what you would do with your domestic machine, except for with your domestic machine, you're going to be moving the fabric, where I here on a long arm am moving the machine. Oh, so Sandy, I used, and I'll show you on Monday when we do a real live. I'll do some more thread painting on the domestic machine with the poppy panel that we started a while ago. But so the reason I use 2 halves is so that I get a whole sunflower. So one half, they're actually 2 different panels. There's a right side and a left side to this panel. So in order to get it to be big and not just the size of a 24-inch panel, but it's actually 45 by like 48. In order to get the big panel, you have to sew the 2 panels together. I do have one up here that I can show you. Not of the sunflower, but I have a different one. So the whole idea of this was just so that you could get, we have smaller, we do have a smaller sunflower that Stephanie did, and I'll show those to you on Monday. We have a smaller sunflower that might be better for you to do your first time because it's, more manageable. But once you've done one, you can do anything. And so this is just, the reason she had to do it on 2 panels was so that she could get the bigger flower. So this is one side of this flower. I don't know, it might be upside down. This is one side. I can't tell. And then this is the other side, or vice versa. So see how once you sew it in the center, I believe that's here, I'm going to put it on the floor so I can see. I believe this is one flower here. I think this is one flower. I could be wrong. She has, I think there's 3 of these different flowers. So I think I might have 2 different flowers mixed here. I definitely have 2 different flowers mixed here. Let's see if this one is, and in a perfect world, okay, wait, I think this one actually goes with this one. So she has like a sunflower, an iris, and then something. Yeah. See how those? So when you sew these together, you've got a 1/4 inch right here in the center. When you sew those together, that will be the tip of that petal. So it's really hard to display this line of fabric that she did unless you sew the 2 together. But you could actually even use these flower blocks as yardage and cut them up into smaller blocks and frame them in a quilt if you didn't want to do a big artsy something. Or sew it together and use it in the center of a quilt and then build around it. There's so many things you could do with it. But usually, like anything, until we show it to you made up, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, let me see what other comments do we have. What is, hey, Mary Beatty. Why did you use 2 halves? Susan, yes, you do need to see it. I was just going to say, watch your finger. I know, I have totally gone through my finger. Mary Beatty, I could use the purple thing, but if the needle hits it the wrong way, it can throw my, even though it's plastic, it still will throw my tension out of whack. And that could take me like weeks and weeks to put it all, to get the tension back, the timing back right. Okay, maybe tack with invisible thread. You could. Usually what I try to do is just build it while it's on the long arm so I don't have to move it. But sometimes when I do demos, I don't know. This one was just sitting up here half done, so I'm not sure when I actually started it. But it's been a while. I would have that all tangled up in my needle. Becky, I get it all tangled up in my needle and I just clip it and keep on going. Because it doesn't matter if you clip it. It's not going to make a difference. Temporary spray adhesive. Margaret, I like that. I might try temporary spray adhesive. It has to be stronger than a glue stick, but I don't know. It's like you just have to experiment and see what works. You could totally hand tack it. Sandy, you could hand tack it. I probably wouldn't spend the time, but I probably would be great. I would be appreciative if I did. Like it would probably be super helpful. Okay, let's see. Lightweight web, lightweight glue on the silk at selective points, invisible. Yes, maybe even bone ash, but it'd be hard to keep it under control. I do have some super lightweight Misty Fuse, or I just don't want it. I don't want, because a lot of it is, a lot of this is see-through. I don't want the fusible to show through. I don't know. I don't know that. I think you might have to just deal with the pins. I'm not positive. I think there is a lily and an iris and a sunflower. So on Monday, I will figure out how to display them. I'll pin them up to the wall so you guys can see both halves pinned together. It's super fun. Stephanie, when you're here for the mini retreat, we can throw one on the long arm and you can play with it. But then you might want a long arm, so you might want to do it on your domestic machine. Okay. Definitely, Fran, it would be a great challenge, but I think you would like the smaller one to make tote bags. I did do this. I did do a tote bag out of the smaller one, but we sold out of it. But she redid it slightly different. So I need to make a tote bag again. Okay, let me see. I'm trying not to miss any of your comments. I will definitely demo it on my domestic machine. Rhonda, you can call the number scrolling at the bottom, 775-267-0204. Not right this second, because I'm not going to run downstairs to answer the phone. I barely made it back up the stairs without losing my breath. But I'll run downstairs and get the phone. Or you can always call my cell phone, 510-967-3441. And we can get you one of these sunflower panels. It does measure with both panels sewn together. It does measure about 44 by 48-ish. Tulle would work, and then you could cut it off. Beverly, you're right. And a lot of people do use tulle. A lot of people do put tulle over the whole thing and then just stitch over it and leave the tulle on. But you're going to do a lot of thread painting. I do have some tulle here. If you look real carefully, there is little spots of tulle to give it shading. So there is some tulle. It's hard though, because I like the silks to be on top because they're dimensional. And it looks kind of like leaves or petals in the wind. So it's really hard to put anything on top of it because you're going to do so much thread painting. So right now you can see right here where I've done a little bit of thread painting, but I'm going to throw some more silks on here. I'll probably throw this like this, and because I don't like how flat it is right there where I have one silk going through. So I will totally add, I always keep extras on the side as I'm quilting so that I can say, oh, I like that, or I don't like it, or it got stuck somewhere, or and you can have some, say you have this one here and you want it to be longer, you can just put something underneath it and then just have that out there, so that it goes kind of like that. I don't like to sew my silks down too flat, and I will have more samples of that on Monday. The next couple weeks, I'm really going to try to focus on the bedazzled panels, only because I think we haven't done that. We did it really a lot at the beginning of COVID. We did the bedazzled panels. So I kind of thought you guys were like all over that, but we have a lot of new people. So, and for those of you who have been following me for a long time, you have all this stuff in your stash, and you might need a little bit of a push to get it out and do it. So that's your challenge for this weekend, is to go drag out all this stuff that you've bought from me and get re-inspired, and let's get some finished projects done. I will, if you guys have questions, you guys can kind of play with it over the weekend. And then if you have questions, you can put it on the Fabric Chick Stitch Along, post your project and what you're doing. And I'll comment, or other people who have done the bedazzled panels will also comment. So make sure you tune in on Monday at 4 o'clock for like a continuation of this. I'll have this done so that you can see the different progress. If you want to do the center yarn one for the seeds, you just need to have a piece of wash away that's big enough that you can fold in half, dribble, like just kind of mix all your yarns and different fibers. You could use twine. You can use all kinds of different things. Dibble it in your wash, in between your wash away. Fold your wash away on top. So you've got wash away on the bottom, wash away on the top. I like to fold it so that the crease holds all of my fibers in place. Put a couple of pins on it, and then just do your free motion stitching. I don't like to do it too intense because I do like it to be a little bit dimensional and poofy. But you can also do that as you're quilting it. You can kind of just quilt it, but not too much. And just kind of move it around, poof it up as you're quilting it so that it will have more dimension. Okay, any other questions? I know I don't have my computer with me, and Roger's not reading them to me. So, um, thank you, Julie. Reason I based is because you can't see the work bunched up under domestic machine, or else I would totally use pin. Okay, I got you, Sandy. Yes, then I would totally baste. Um, Charity, I totally think that rooster square that you got would be perfect. Yes, Mary Rogers on the camera. Hey Hannah, I hope you survived the hurricane tornado in the bathroom. Um, so I believe that practicing on panels is the best way to go because you have to build control. Like anything, you have to practice. And you don't want to practice on a piece that you've been appliquing for days. You want to just you want to be able to get control and fine tune your free motion stitching and your quilting before you do your applique pieces. Um, Okay, let's see. Hey, Cindy Gygax. Oh, she's outside in the mud trying to paint her canvas. Cindy, I thought when we did the Zoom on Saturday, your canvas was already painted. I think that I loved your canvas that I saw on Saturday. Um, thank you. All right, so that's all. Hey, Debbie, it's good to see you. Debbie, did you join the Bison Facebook page? I don't think I saw you there. Let me know because I will have to send you a new link. So any of you who have any questions, just pop it in and I'll check this. Otherwise, you can join us on Monday and we'll have a recap of this. So basically, all you have to do is get a panel you love, throw all kinds of weird stuff on it. I have lots of silks on this one, which we do sell, and I'll have them bundled up on Monday. But I just want to kind of give you something for my regulars who watch me all the time. If you don't know what to do this weekend, grab your panels that you've gotten in the past and just do some free motion stitching and experiment. All right. Any other comments before we go? Because Roger's giving me that side eye. This is not a filming day, he said. So he's not really sure why we did this. Okay, Carolyn, it's good to see you. Go back and rewatch it. Love how you tuck in extra bits as you go using your artistic eye and the stitchings. Thank you, Sandy. Carolyn, you definitely have a few panels. Go practice. It's sometimes we don't take the time to work on it, so go practice. I added to my order from Wednesday. You can you let me know that you got it? Yes, Becky. When did you add it? Because I don't think I saw it. Last time I checked, I don't think I saw an added order from you. So let me know. Not yet, router. Okay. Just let me know, Debbie, and I'll get you a new link and get you logged on to the Zoom. I know, Mary. Roger, stop complaining. All right. Love you guys. Go get some sewing done. Go be creative and post it on Fabric Stitch Along so we can inspire each other. Have a great weekend. Bye.